Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. You're listening to the Think Unbroken podcast, and I'm your host, Michael Unbroken. I'm an author, speaker, coach, and advocate for adult survivors of childhood trauma and abuse. In this podcast, you will learn how to transform your trauma into triumph, turn breakdowns into breakthroughs, and go from victim to being the hero of your own story. You can learn more at thinkunbrokenpodcast.com, and of course, check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at Think Unbroken Podcast. What is up, Unbroken Nation? Hope you guys are doing well. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about 3 ways that you can love yourself after trauma and abuse. If you do not know this, by the way, you can schedule a free coaching call with me literally at any time if you just go to thinkunbroken.com. That said, I was thinking about this a lot. People ask me all the time, how do you actually learn to love yourself? How do you heal after trauma and abuse? How do you let go of the impact of the past? How do you become the hero of your own story? How do you get unstuck? How do you become unbroken? Well, I'll tell you this. It's a lifetime of work. And you've heard me say this before. I'll never pretend that it's not, but I also want to give you something tactical and practical that here in just a couple of minutes, we can take away and use in your day. And first and foremost, number one, these are 3 things we're going to cover, but number one is you have to have self-compassion. My friends, I cannot tell you how important, incredibly, unbelievably important it is to show kindness, understanding, and patience towards yourself. First and foremost, kindness, because guess what? You're going to make mistakes. And if you're always beating yourself up because of the mistakes that you make and you're not operating through a scope of kindness, you'll never put yourself in a position to be successful because you'll always be continuing to beat yourself up. So kindness first in this self-compassion concept. 2 is understanding. Like, we are analytical beings as just what it is that we are built and created as humans. We have an analytical brain. Do we make emotional decisions and thought processes? Of course we do, but ultimately we're always evaluating and making meaning. So as we're very analytical, it's like, can you leverage some understanding? And in that, give yourself space to be able to acknowledge the pain of the emotions that arise when you have grief, when you feel like you're not giving yourself the same level of care. The understanding is about just pausing and looking back and going, yeah, this is happening right now. And being like, it's okay that it's happening. Again, leveraging that idea of kindness again. And then thirdly is patience, right? It's going to take a lifetime. I do believe this, and I know that's not the thing people wanna hear, but because there is an exponential and compounding effect in this journey, every single time you show up, every single time you deploy kindness, every single time you deploy understanding and you leverage patience, the exponential growth of your healing journey doubles, quadruples, and exponentially impacts you in ways that you can't even understand yet. And the only way that that works is by being patient, because here's what's really interesting is you may go for 2 years or 4 years or 8 years of this journey, and then suddenly everything is different. But in the reality of the journey, it has been the 2 years, the 4 years, the 8 years of doing the work consistently, showing up every single day in and out that actually leads you down this path. And so when you think about self-compassion, it really is about kindness. It's about understanding and patience. Number 2 is setting boundaries. I talk about boundaries all the time, and the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because arguably it's one of the most important cornerstones in the healing journey, because if you put boundaries into your life, if you create a scope of boundaries, one of the things that will happen is you'll realize that 2 things. 1, you will understand who is constantly crossing your boundaries, habitual line steppers, and then you will also, more importantly, build confidence in yourself, because you'll start to recognize that your boundaries are based on your own needs, desires, limits, and communication. And what happens as you become more communicative in this, you begin to assert yourself as someone who has boundaries, thus creating and building more confidence. And so when you We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off. You are saying no, at first, it's going to feel uncomfortable. I promise it is, because you're gonna be like, I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to show up. That's not how I want to exist. And then what will happen is you'll start to understand, and this is what's beautiful in this journey, that the more you say no and the more that you are uncomfortable, the quicker, back to that point of exponential growth, that you're able to keep your boundaries in place, thus leading to, on a long enough timeline, a situation where you're surrounding yourself with supportive individuals who both respect your boundaries and prioritize both their and your self-care in your day-to-day, because your well-being is going to supersede what they want or what they need out of you. And setting boundaries is not selfish. I promise you it is not. It is self-love at its finest, and more so it's self-protection, because when you put boundaries in place, it is you who controls your future and your destiny. And number 3, I recommend this always and forever, is get professional support. Now, I've shared in my journey of my own healing from abuse and trauma that it was a very intricate process, that there were a myriad of supportive professionals in my life who helped me go down this path. And there's nothing better for you than a qualified mental health professional who has been there before you, who can walk down this tunnel with you and guide you into what they understand about change and how you facilitate growth after trauma and abuse. Now, many of you know, and I've said this before, if I could go back in time, I actually would have gotten a coach before I got a therapist. And the reason I say that is because, and this is just for me, I needed behavioral changes much more than I needed emotional identification at the start of this. And so I think I would have saved myself a little bit of time had I been able to be with a coach where I said, here's my problem. Can you offer me a solution? Hold my hand and guide me through this. And so if that's a place where you find that you need support, go to thinkunbroken.com. You guys can hop on a free coaching call with me whenever you would like. Absolutely free. No worries. If you need help, if you need support, reach out. So thinkunbrokenpodcast.com or thinkunbroken.com for that scheduling. It's right there. You can't miss it. So if you go the other route, right? Let's say it's the opposite. You've been in therapy for a while, but you're not really getting the outcome that you're expecting. It's okay to change therapists. This might actually become a form of self-love and self-care for you, because I will tell you right now, I have been able to work with multiple incredible therapists in different modalities, from CBT to EMDR to gosh, I mean, there's so many. But at this point in my life, I've now worked with probably 8 to 10 different therapists in different modalities. Gestalt was one that for me really became a game changer. I really was allowed to use and use my analytical brain and mind in that practice. And then I've even done just traditional talk therapy where I'm just like, I need a couch, I need to complain, I need to understand, I need to vent, I need to grieve, or whatever that is. And so these are the 3 things that I think that one can do in order to start to create self-love for themselves after trauma and abuse. Number 1, again, and most importantly, have self-compassion, leverage that kindness, understanding, and patience. Number 2 is set those boundaries. Remember, those boundaries are for you. They are not for them. And number 3, get professional support in this journey, because I can tell you right now, if you do not try to do this alone, you will exponentially grow and heal in a way that you don't even understand yet. My friends, thank you so much for being here. I hope you found a lot of value and support in this today. If there's anything I can do, reach out to me, michael@thinkunbroken.com or @michaelunbroken on all the socials. I will respond to you. We will connect. I will do my best to serve you. And until next time, my friend, be unbroken. I'll see you. Thank you so much for listening to Think Unbroken. Please share this episode with someone who could use it and help us move forward in our mission of ending generational trauma in our lifetime. And if you would, please take 5 seconds to pop on iTunes or Spotify, hit that 5-star, leave a review, and you can also reach out to us on social @MichaelUnbroken or @ThinkUnbroken. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel @Think Unbroken. Thank you for being a part of Unbroken Nation, my friends, and until next time, be unbroken. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show, but I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.